Hey guys, it's not necessarily easy to talk about in any kind of authoritative way the nutrition facts of meatloaf because everybody has their own version of what meatloaf is in the first place. How much they serve, what they serve it in, let alone the ingredients that they're using. A serving size even in somebody's house might be very, very different from somebody else's. So that doesn't mean though that we can't talk about the things that go into those changes in nutrition facts from house to house and how to control them. So one of the misconceptions about meatloaf in general is that it has to be, or that it is, very unhealthy. It sort of comes from the fact that it's an American comfort food. They tend to not be the healthiest. But you can make meatloaf to be very healthy, and it's not all that unhealthy to begin with. If you're making it with 80-20 beef, and you're following sort of the traditional recipe that I have on here, per serving it's like 350 calories. Not a small amount, but it's not breaking the bank either. And the most sort of dramatic way to change the calorie count per serving is to serve the same amount of meatloaf using a leaner beef, like a 90-10, or using ground turkey instead of ground beef in the first place. That can have a huge effect on the amount of calories per serving. Also things like what you decide to glaze it with, whether or not you add things like I tend to add bacon. That's not great for the calorie count. Something that a lot of people don't really consider when they're considering eating meatloaf or making it is that it's not the lightest on carbs. So if you're keto or you're just low carb in general, you might think meatloaf is great. So you can eat bacon on keto and you can eat as much as you like. Not necessarily the case for meatloaf because the binder is breadcrumbs, so carbs, there's actually a decent amount of carbs in a traditional meatloaf. There doesn't have to be. There are other things that you can substitute. Oats, still not going to be necessarily low carb, but it'll be lower, will work. There are different substitutions. There's another page for that on this site. So yeah, the biggest thing to keep in mind is the type of meat that you use. 80-20 ground beef is going to be 280, 300, 350 calories per serving, depends on your ingredients. You can take that down 100 calories by just using, say, ground turkey, which would be about like 242 per serving. So try out different things. Whatever you do, enjoy.